Welcome to the VAR review, where we take a look at the big refereeing decisions and VAR calls from a busy month of SPFL action, and of course take a look at the process which leads us to those decisions. As always, I'm delighted to be joined by the Scottish FA's head of referees, Willie Collum, for another busy show. Willie, I'm sure. Let's dive straight in, because the first weekend after we spoke last time, there was an action-packed day in Paisley, St Mirren taking on Kilmarnock. Let's start with this red card for violent conduct shown to Kilmarnock's Joe Wright.
Right on top of the keeper again, Matthew.
Okay, APP. The boy down just before the ball was struck. It was Kilmarnock 4 that was involved with him before the ball was struck.
I don't know what happens. Sonny just falls. Put it back.
Play it through.
I don't know what happens. Okay,
nice, before the ball's in play. Let me see the point of contact. Slow it down. Slow it down, frame by frame, frame by frame.
Just coming.
Let me see it. Yep.
Wait for VAR. You've got VAR. You can grab somebody by the ball.
Aye, better see it. It's a hand in, yeah. Hand in the nether regions. Yep, you can see a clear movement in there. Matthew, delay. Matthew, we're checking a possible violent conduct against Kilmarnock number 4. Matthew, I'm recommending an on-field review for a potential red card for violent conduct. If you come across the screen, I'll let you see it. Show me the other angle first.
Show me wide angle.
Yeah, wide angle first. Show me. Okay, you'll see before the ball's in play. Number 4 of Kilmarnock appears to strike the St Mirren player in between the legs. So I'll show you it there. I'll show you in slow motion.
Angle on it, Andy?
Yep. Here it's here in slow motion.
Okay, show me it again once more. Comfortable with it. Show me once more for me, please. Okay, and confirm you said the ball is not in place. I'm restarting the corner kick.
The ball, yeah, restarting my corner kick. Yep, correct. Number 4 of Kilmarnock. He's on the penalty spot just now. Okay. He's standing on the penalty spot if he's looking for him. He's him now.
Okay, ultimately, Willie, is that the right call? Is that a good VAR intervention? Talk us through what we heard.
So it's a good intervention for us, Gordon. This is the correct decision. Firstly, it's important that when the VAR are analysing this decision, they check the ball's not in play, because that, of course, will affect the restart of the match. But you can quite clearly see where the contact is here in this area of the body. This would be regarded as violent conduct. It would be regarded as brutality, even regardless of the force used. This is an act of brutality. It's clearly missed on field by the referee. I would go as far to say it's understandable it's missed on field. It's not easy to identify. But when the player goes down, it immediately draws VAR's attention to that. They start to go into a forensic check. Again, we're really pleased because they don't rely on one angle. They rely on various angles. There's good dialogue between the VAR and the assistant VAR. And they come to the right conclusion. They recommend an on-field review for an act of brutality, violent conduct. The referee goes to the monitor and duly issues a red card after seeing the images.
Well, let's move on to the next one then. Same game, it was an incident-packed afternoon in Paisley. Red card given on the first clip that we saw. Should there have been a red card on this one?
No.
Potential violent conduct.
He tries to kick the ball.
Matthew, delay the now. Matthew, delay, Matthew.
Andy, for me, Vasil traps the ball. Rooney then tries to kick the ball in a way. He does kick him.
I'll give you 6 minutes left as well.
Ball's there. Puts the way through. That's it.
So you've seen the kick, Matthew, yeah? You've seen the kick?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen him. He goes to try and play the ball out, and I know there's contact on the player.
So you're happy with the kick?
Yep.
Give you intensity of it.
Right, okay. No, the fact he's saying he's seen it. Right, okay, Matthew, check complete.
It's interesting, Willie, because the referee says he saw it. That's when that issue of, is it a clear and obvious error, comes into play here, but did they get that one right? Should that have been a red card?
So for us here, Gordon, this is the incorrect decision. We would prefer an on-field review, and we also believe this is an act of violent conduct by the St Mirren player. But it's good for us to analyse a clip. The referee is quite a distance from the incident. It's important to consider that as well. He does immediately communicate that he's been able to see the kick, and the VAR correctly listens to the referee's opinion. We're asking the referee to communicate with the VAR and tell him the opinion. So that part of the process is good and correct. For us though, there's not only one kick, there's two kicks. But even if you consider the first kick, the referee describes it as the St Mirren player trying to kick the ball. I think that's very debatable. For us, both kicks are acts of violent conduct and should have been punished for that. When the incident happens, the AVAR, the assistant VAR, immediately goes in and says, possible act of violent conduct. We're pleased about that again. But from that point onwards, the referee and the VAR go in a tunnel and they start to talk about, you know, what they're seeing. The referee's describing it. I've been able to see a kick, and the VAR is saying, well, he's describing that, but you can also hear by the VAR's voice he has serious doubts about this incident. So on the back of this, our coaching to the match officials is, firstly, we want the referee to be on his toes. We want the referee to get closer to the incident, try and solve this problem before it even begins. And also, if he's closer to the incident, he's able to take then robust action. He's got a better view of that. But we also need the VAR then to start to prompt the referee. What do you mean by you've been able to see a kick and somebody attempting to play the ball? Is it careless? Is it reckless? Is it excessive force? Is it brutality? And I think if those questions are asked, and also looking at the criteria and the laws of the game, then I think they come to a different conclusion. So the referee, in my opinion, has seen a kick, but he's not been able to see it properly. And we would have liked the VAR to pursue that even further, and then to consider, as I said, the criteria, what constitutes a red card, and the referee should have been brought to the monitor here to review this incident, and we believe this is a clear act of violent conduct.
OK, so an acknowledgement there, that one should have been a red card. Let's move away from violent conduct on the next one to handball, which is everyone's favourite or least favourite subject, whichever way you look at it. Last time we spoke, you made it very clear things have changed a bit. You want to raise that bar of intervention. We talk about issues like proximity and so on. So let's take a look at Liam Scales against Hearts at Celtic Park.
Shoulder.
So,
Play,
yeah,
corner.
let's have a look.
Penalty kick.
Penalty awarded.
Penalty
Okay.
Players, captain's approach. Captain, get your captain.
Right.
Get your captain.
Yeah, let's go
Get
through
your
it again.
captain.
Right. So he's headed it quite close.
Okay, for me the arm skills is out. Okay, I understand.
I think it's quite close. It's hit him with the shoulder. Can you go behind the goal?
That's my explanation. Okay, the arm for me
I
is
think it's
out
his
to the
shoulder.
body.
Colin, it's Alan. Just delay. Just delay.
Screen check, I'll
Right.
now stop talking just for that.
So it looks like it's his shoulder. Can you get another angle on that? Here. Yeah, go here. It's hit him with the shoulder. Would you agree? It's hit him with the shoulder area. There.
Move away, I'll caution you.
So I'm going to go for an on-field review.
Alan is going to recommend an on-field review
Okay.
for a potential no penalty kick.
Okay.
Yes.
Make the signal and make your way to the screen.
John.
Right, what I'm going to show you just normal speed is that the Hearts player heads the ball close and it hits the Celtic player approximately on the shoulder area from a close proximity. So I'm going to show you from that angle here, and I'm going to show you
Okay.
from...
So it's above. That
Yeah,
looks
it's
like the ball hits above the armpit.
Yep, and I'm
Yeah.
going to show you one more angle. You can show him the other angle from this angle here, Colin, okay?
Okay. Yeah, it's different to what I thought, Alan.
No, that's
But I hit the
absolutely
lower
fine.
arm. Okay,
So,
so I'm going to overturn the decision.
yep, I
Yeah,
would agree with
and
that.
And go for a drop ball to the goalkeeper.
Yep, I would agree with that, pal, if that's the decision. Yep,
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Why is that not a penalty then, Willie? Is that the right outcome for you, and based on what? Because we're starting to learn about, you know, what constitutes a handball and what doesn't.
So this clip's really good at looking at handball criteria. I think, firstly, Gordon, it's a difficult decision. At speed, it's really difficult. At view, in particular, from the main camera, it probably looks like a penalty kick. But when you then start to analyse it and the VAR goes, you know, looks at different angles, they quickly identify that it actually hits the defender above the T-shirt line. And that's really, really important, because above the T-shirt line is not a punishable handball. People, when looking at this clip, look at proximity. If you'd moved the ball 30 centimetres down the arm, it would have been a penalty, even though it's very close, because the arm is too outstretched for us.
Well, that's interesting. So, because
Yep.
people maybe thought that they were too close together. So the only thing that makes it not a penalty is the fact that it hits his shoulder. If that hit his hand, you'd be happy with that being given?
Yes, we'd be happy with a penalty.
So why does proximity not
Proximity would be more considered when the arm is not as high as it is here. For us, this arm is too much in an unnatural position to be challenging for the ball.
What's interesting about this day, though, is because later on in the same game, Hearts get a penalty against them for a handball on James Penrice, by James Penrice. Why is that one different then? Is that the right decision?
Yeah, the cross is coming in, and the Hearts player, the Hearts defender, has his arm raised, unnatural, and blocks the cross. We've been able to see a couple of clips like that this season. If you look at the opening day of the season, a clip we discussed at Hearts Rangers, we believe the Rangers defender's arm was tucked into the body. But in this occasion, with the Hearts defender, the arm is out from the body, and even in recently, we were able to see again at Ross County Celtic, a Celtic defender in a similar body shape, and we would like that to be punished. And both occasions are correctly punished by a penalty kick after an on-field review.
And the distance that the crosser is away from the defender, that taken into account as well?
That becomes irrelevant when the arm is so high.
Right, okay.
It's because it's so high, it's so unnatural.
Okay, let's continue on the handball theme then. This is a very, very interesting one because it's an attacking handball. We're used to perhaps in the defensive area. Let's take a look. Lennon Miller scores for Motherwell against St Mirren. The goal stands should it have stood. Let's take a look.
Most of them are after holding.
APP.
Yeah. Play.
Offside, potential offside.
Yeah, defender played it.
No, it's all good.
Check that. Goal.
Okay. So we need to check the wee double. I just want to make sure that there's no attacking handball.
Right, there's two of them
Okay,
coming
Lloyd,
to
we'll
you.
just check that.
Yeah,
Okay, just let us check it, run it through.
Sure.
Right, so I need to see how he controls it there. Right, so I think it hits his hip. But show me that angle again. Can you do that super slow motion on that? Right. I think it's off his hip. Run it, just step frame by frame there. Yes, it's off his hip. So I just want to make sure it doesn't hit the attacker though. See the 18-yard camera as well. Can I just see it for that, please?
There was no push.
No
worries.
Oh yeah, okay. It's hard to tell, isn't it? I think it looks like his hip. Show me the low behind again, please. Yep. See the fact that I'm looking at it so many times, Alan? For me, it's not obvious. It looks like a hip there.
Move it on. All good. Aye, it's hip.
Lloyd, all checks are complete. Good toward the goal.
Okay, worth, I suppose, just quickly outlining, Willie, proximity, unnatural position, none of that's relevant here. It's really just, does it strike Lennon Miller's arm in a punishable area below the t-shirt like that? So that's the main consideration. Does it?
So this is a really difficult clip to analyse. Firstly, it does hit the Motherwell attacker up here. That's clear on TV. And that's not punishable. So that's okay. That can be quickly dismissed. But when the goal is awarded, the VAR again goes into a very thorough check, supported by the VAR. They analyse many angles here. And it would be fair to say there are some angles where it looks like it's hit a punishable part of the arm, and there are other angles. If you look behind the goal, for example, you hear the VAR and the VAR believing that the ball has hit the hip of the attacker. This was a very difficult clip, even in terms of the key match incident panel. You know, the panel were very mixed on this, and the basis
for that... It was a 3-2 split, wasn't it?
Yep, 3-2 in favour of the goal standing. I think what makes it very difficult is evidence. That's the key word here. Can we be categorical on the TV pictures that we have, that the VAR and the VAR have, to say that it's categorically struck the player in a punishable area of the arm? If the VAR believe it has, then this goal must be ruled out, because that would make the goal null and void, and it would be a factual overturn. There would be no need to bring the referee to the monitor. This is just a case where it's a factual overturn. But in this scenario, the VAR and the VAR both believe that they cannot find the evidence. You even hear them saying that they're not sure the amount of times they've watched it. They are unable to find the evidence to be categorical about that. Now, many people would watch that and say there is an angle, you know, the angle from the main camera in comparison to the angle from behind the goal. We would ask the VAR and the VAR to consider that as a package as well when looking at it, not just relying on one particular angle, but considering a package. And you know, Gordon, I've always said we'll be honest and transparent. The majority of the referees and the assistant referees in the country and the VARs and the AVARs, they felt that there was evidence here to suggest that there was a handball in a punishable area of the arm. But the big point from this clip that I would like everybody to know in terms of the clubs, in terms of the fans, is that we need to find categorical evidence. So if the VAR and the AVAR believe it's categorical, then they should disallow this goal.
OK, well, it wasn't the only handball in this game as well. Let's take a look at Motherwell's Dan Casey being sent off for a handball as well. Let's take a look and see what we think about this one.
Go again! Back post in swinger. Good. Handball,
okay.
Handball, penalty.
Penalty given.
And is it red? 15, red card, 15, Casey.
15, red card shown. Right, okay.
Right. Show us this.
No.
Okay.
They'll watch it. Off you go.
Okay, so it's clearly a handball.
No, captain speaks to me.
Yeah. Now, it's one of the. It's back to the rule. For me, that's not that's a deliberate handball, Alan. I think we can support a deliberate handball there.
Yeah.
Because his hand does come out from his body. He makes himself bigger and he saves it.
It'll be watched. The assistants called it. It will be watched.
Show me the low behind again, please. Right, watch it here, Alan. His arm's out.
Yeah.
The assistant's watching it, mate.
I don't think we can say that that's accidental.
It's right on the line.
Lloyd, we're just checking all angles here. Just bear with us.
Yeah, I'm happy to support that. Show me this.
Just go to the goal line.
Yeah. Out for ball.
Right,
yeah.
show me the APP, please.
Lloyd, we're just checking the APP.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
The assistant has called it, okay, so just wait.
So it is denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity?
Yeah.
OK, Willie, we could hear the communication's quite clear. This is an issue of deliberate handball because the rules have changed. It doesn't automatically have to be a red card for a handball on the line, but it does if it's deliberate. So is this deliberate? Is this the right call for you?
So in our opinion, this is the correct call. Firstly, it's a very good piece of teamwork between the assistant referee and the referee. The assistant referee initially calls a decision. They have a really good view. Sometimes it can be difficult for the referee to look through the body of the defender on the goal line because he's turning his body. What we really like here is that the VAR again talk about criteria. They talk about the arm out from the body. They talk about a save. So there's nothing there for the VAR to think that the referee has made an error there in terms of showing a red card. It's not a clear and obvious error, and we would certainly support this decision as being deliberate and a red card. There is a question here about a deflection coming from the Motherwell player's body onto the arm. Sometimes in football there's an expectation when it's a deflection it negates a handball. That's not true at all. And in this case, the deflection is absolutely irrelevant because it saved a shot. And the same again, if your arm is out from the body unnaturally, even if it deflects from you, that doesn't take away the fact that it's a punishable handball. So this is a good clip for us again about teamwork, about the outcome, about VAR again thoroughly checking it, and about VAR again using the correct criteria to assess if this is a correct decision.
OK, just a quick general point before we move on, Willie, because in this game there was a red card, which we won't look at because it's not a VAR decision, because as we know, VAR can't get involved in second yellows. Now, we've seen a few of them this season. Is that a change that you would support? Now, it's not your decision. Ultimately, it's above your head at this point in time, but is that something that could be looked at, should be looked at?
I think it will be looked at because, a second yellow card is a key decision in the game. The problem I think that FIFA have and IFAB have is, if the first yellow card's wrong, why has nobody looked at that? That's where the debate comes. But I don't think anybody in football can deny that a second yellow card has a huge impact in a game. It's as crucial as a penalty kick, a direct red card. So it's really, really important, I think, that that's at least looked at, at least considered moving forward. I think it would be appropriate to do so.
OK, let's take a look at this next one. Because these things sometimes fall into your lap, it's the same weekend, so people naturally were drawing comparisons between the two, wondering how similar they are, how different they are, the punishments handed out. So let's take a look at John Souttar at Ibrox against Hibs.
OK, let's have a look.
So
I think I've fucked in, but I don't know, Kevin. You need to check it, mate.
Yeah. Rumi, I think that's a penalty. Delay, checking possible penalty kick.
This is from behind as well.
That's not a great angle.
Okay,
so I think
well.
this is the one. So I think he plays it.
Kevin, but check.
I think
The arm moves up the way.
yeah. I think for me the arm.
I need to keep the comms
Check
clear.
one behind it.
Have we got behind?
This is the one behind.
Right, Chris, like,
So for me, his arm's there in order to stop it. I don't think that's tucked into the body.
His arm moves up slightly.
Yeah. So for me, I think that's going to be an on-field review, at least to let him see it. Yeah. Nick, it's Kevin. I'm going to recommend an on-field review for a possible handball penalty kick if you want to make your way across the screen. Nick, I'm going to show you the point of contact first of all.
I'm here.
So there's the point of contact.
Okay, and can you give me a wider angle so I can consider
So-
sanction? Looks like the goalkeeper might have an opportunity to save.
I would agree. I think you've got the position of the goalkeeper.
Shot on goal, non-deliberate but punishable, therefore penalty only, no sanction.
I would agree with that. Shot on goal, not deliberate, as you say.
Action.
Yeah.
Okay.
OK, let's start with the award of the penalty, Willie. Is that right? And if it is, why is proximity not a defence for the defender here? I know there was a lot said about this one after the game. He is very close. Is that the right decision to award a penalty?
It's a correct decision for us. You're right, it's very, very close, there's no question about that. But we think the Rangers defender throws himself into a mode to save the shot, block the shot at all costs. And unfortunately for him here, he's made his body bigger. And for us, it's not natural. It can be sometimes easier to justify a natural position when you're standing. But here, when you dive to block a shot, it makes it even more difficult to defend such an arm movement. There's also a slight arm movement, albeit I don't think it's deliberate. I agree with the on-field referee team and the VAR team that it's not a deliberate handball, but this, for us, is certainly a punishable handball.
So, to compare it to the Dan Casey one that we've just seen, how do we go from red to no sanction? All about this issue of how deliberate it is.
In the Dan Casey situation, for us, the ball would enter the goal. It would be a goal, categorical. But here there's every opportunity that the goalkeeper can save this shot. The fact that no card was shown could be debated. If the referee had deemed John Souttar's actions here as deliberate, he probably would have received a yellow card for blocking a shot deliberately at such close range from the goal. But because the referee and the VAR team don't deem this as a deliberate handball, there's no need for a yellow card, because that was removed from the laws of the game about a mandatory yellow card for a shot at goal.
So red's not an issue for you here?
Absolutely not. We would not support a red card. This is not an obvious goal-scoring opportunity for us, because the goalkeeper has the opportunity to save this shot.
OK, bit of a lesson there as well, perhaps, that proximity doesn't automatically mean, close proximity doesn't automatically mean no penalty. Once the penalty's taken, there was then a bit of debate, perhaps, about Jack Butland's positioning. So let's run through and take a look at this penalty and see what Willie thinks.
Save.
Right.
On-field decision is save.
This will be your best angle to see goalkeepers.
I mean, that's... I think, Rumi, it's just on the line.
Is that the best angle?
Is that the best we've got?
Yes, this will be... You'll have this as well.
We'll just check the goalkeeper's foot.
I mean, for me, between the two of those angles, Rumi,
Waiting, McCausland, 45.
Is that the best we've got?
Flag, offside.
Yeah, I'm going to check.
Just delay, nothing, quickly.
Yeah, I think between the two of these, all I can say is that it looks to be on or above the line. There's no definitive
That would mean Nick as well, okay,
footage.
Yep.
Nick, checked and cleared.
Good to see an example of this, Willie. We saw Kasper Schmeichel and Dingwall, which was a bit more obvious, so I don't think there's much debate. What What about this one? Content with this?
Yeah, we're content. It's important when you analyse a clip like this that you get the accurate point that the kicker takes the penalty. That's really, really important, and we need to make sure it's at the point the penalty is kicked. You hear the VAR describing about the goalkeeper's back foot being on the line. He says it's just on the line, which I would accept, but that's acceptable. And this shows...
Sorry, what is the criteria? Any part of the foot on any part of the line, basically?
On the line, yep, or behind the line or above it. So for us here, this is absolutely correct in terms of law. They've used the correct criteria. They've taken their time to analyse it, make sure the kick point is correct, then they've analysed exactly where the goalkeeper is, and you can see the foot's in the line, so this is technically a correct decision.
OK, holding in the box is another great area for debate, and the most recent round of fixtures we saw Rangers playing at home, the late game against St Johnstone. Let's take a look at this incident involving Cyril Dessers.
Now, back, watching on keeper, continue.
Okay, you take
There's
wide.
a slight hold on Dessers, but I don't think there's enough impact on it, Stevie.
Okay, this is a hold to talk about. On-field decision, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Flexion the way through. Continue.
Still there.
As described, that's fine. Okay, cleared. As described.
Goal kick.
Goal kick.
Yeah.
They'll check him.
Digger as described, checked and cleared.
Okay, thank you.
OK, again, Willie, the obvious question. Is that the right decision?
For us, this is a wrong decision. We expect a penalty kick here, and we expect the referee to be brought to the monitor to review the decision. There's a couple of elements to discuss here. You can clearly hear the referee warning the players, which is good. We've told the referees to be in speaking to the players, warning them, telling them that VAR's looking, because we want to prevent any kind of holding or pulling or pushing in the penalty area. It's important that our referees are preventative in their communication and in their action. Here you hear the referee saying that he has been able to see a small hold on the Rangers attacker, but it has no impact. The VAR then go into a check correctly, and they confirm what the referee has said. But the question for us here is what the referee is saying actually what happened? We don't regard this as a small hold, and we don't regard it as having no impact, particularly from the angle behind the goal. We believe that if this holding offence doesn't happen, that the attacker has the chance to challenge for the ball, and we also believe that the holding's too excessive. This is not a small shut pull here, this is excessive holding. And what I said pre-season when I spoke to the clubs was that defenders need to be very, very careful when they take this kind of action, because they run the risk of being punished. And for us here, we would prefer, using the footage from behind the goal, that the VAR had called the referee to the monitor, and we expect that a penalty kick should be awarded here.
How do you improve that, though? Because fans, players, club officials hoped that VAR would clear up incidents like this, and that one's not been cleared up, you know, as far as you see it. So how do we improve that area?
Firstly, I've said we need to improve the on-field decision making. It's a target of mine, that we expect the referees to be dynamic. We expect them to find the best viewing angle. Even when a corner kick is coming in, we expect them to be in the move to find that best possible angle to get the decision correct. We are working hard in the communication, and here I think what the breakdown has been is that the referee has been able to see some kind of pull, but not been able to see the pull in its fullest sense, whereas the angle behind the goal does show that. So again, what we want to ask the VARs to consider is what the referee describing really what happened. We want the VAR and the AVAR to be inquisitive there and thinking, we know the referee's saying this, but is this exactly what happened? Did it actually not have any impact? Was it a small holding? And if they dissect that enough here, the answer would be there's excessive holding, it's too much, and there is impact on the attacker's ability to play the ball.
There we are. That brings to an end the latest VAR review. Let's start by thanking Willie Collum once again for his time, his openness and transparency in explaining some of these decisions, but of course the processes that are followed as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time on the VAR review.